Hey guys, it's Zeon, the realest motherfucker in the Dragon Ball community, and I am back with another Dragon Ball Super review. Now, to kick things off, I guess I should explain what happened to my episode 22 review. A lot of you guys have been commenting, hey, your episode 22 review is gone. What happened to your episode 22 review? Did you take down your episode 22 review? Well, the answer to that is, no. I didn't take down my episode 22 review. TOEI did. Yeah. So, yeah. They got me. The goddamn Japs got me. First it was Pearl Harbor, now it's my goddamn YouTube account. You know, will the tyranny ever fucking end? So yeah, I'm currently working on getting it back. I put in, you know, a counter notification with YouTube. Hopefully it'll be back in like a week or so. I'm hoping. Or TOEI's just gonna go, no, fuck you, fair use, you go eat a dick. So hopefully I'm gonna get that back. Hopefully they don't sue me. I mean, it's unlikely they will. I'd be really pissed if they do, but it's unlikely that they will. Also, something else I need to bring up is a mistake I made in my last review. That's right, I make mistakes and I can totally own up to when I totally do them. I said that I thought it was really weird that Frieza had knowledge of Planet Yardrad and the fact that he knew about the instantaneous movement, and you know, I brought that whole thing up. And also something else I need to bring up before jumping into the review is I need to make a little bit of a correction from the last review I did. I fucked up, I made a mistake. Yes, I make mistakes, and I can totally own up to when I do this. In my last review I said I thought it was really weird that Frieza knew of Yardrad, and like he knew of the instantaneous movement technique. I really felt like if he knew about that like he'd think he would have conquered that planet already. And apparently that was on the schedule, because there is a line from Vegeta where he says, oh yeah, Ginyu's pod was set to go there, and that's why Goku ended up there in the first place. I don't remember this line at all. Like, you know, keep in mind, it has been quite a while since I've seen that arc. The Artificial Human arc really isn't a personal favorite of mine, so I haven't seen that one in a long time. I also have only seen that arc subbed once, and I'm pretty sure the dub doesn't say anything about that. Maybe I'm wrong, but, you know, at very least, you know, this sub, I've only seen that arc subbed once. So, yeah, that was totally my fuck up. Thank you for the 15 fucking people who informed me about that. Seriously, guys, if I make a mistake, look in the comments section. Look, did someone else say the thing that you already said? Is there like 6 comments, 7 comments saying the thing that you wanted to say and correct me on? If it is, then don't fucking leave the comment. For fuck's sake, just read the other comments. God damn, you are not the only other person to have made that observation. I appreciate it. I don't mind being told I'm wrong, but goddamn, when there's like 10 comments of the exact same thing, go, hey, you fucked this thing up, thank you. Gotcha. Appreciate it. Now on to the actual review. I don't have a lot to say about this episode because there really isn't a lot to say. This is a very, middle of the road kind of episode. It's the warm-up fight. You know, there's a lot of bullshit macho posturing and shit talking, and there's like a few punches thrown and, you know, them warming up, and that's about it. There's really not a whole lot of meat and substance here. Goku and Frieza fight for a bit, you know, obviously, you know, just kind of dicking around. Vegeta gets really pissed off and he's like, hey, you know, take this fucking fight serious. Goku goes SSGSS, and episode over. Yeah, that's it. Like, I don't have anything else there's really not a lot to say. There's no real interesting lines thrown around. There's really no interesting techniques or, like, no plot holes or, you know, really cool little continuity nods. You know, I got nothing. Okay, it's not true. I don't have, like, nothing, but there isn't a whole lot here. Like, my notes are very slim. Okay, like, first off, interesting points to bring up. First off, Jocko can see the fight. That I found was really odd. Like, Jocko can see the fight, nobody else can. Like, you know, even Gohan can't keep up with the fight. So it's really weird that Jocko can see the fight, but no one else can. Like, I guess he's supposed to be a super elite, but at the same time, I'm like, you're your power level's like what? Like maybe 3,000? That's probably being generous. That's just really weird that he can see it in all these other characters, especially someone like Gohan or, Tenshan and Kuderen, like, can't keep up with this fight. And it makes sense that they can't keep up, but the fact that Jocko can, I thought was a little weird. Maybe they'll go into that in a later episode, kind of explain why he can. Because, it's always been kind of pre-established that you can sense, you're not actually really watching the fight, you're sensing their ki and sensing their movements, and that's how you're keeping up with the fight. They established this in the Zeon arc with Gohan, and here it's just like, wait, so he can track their ki when they're moving that fast. So that was kind of weird. Something else that's also worth noting is that Kuderen says when Goku hits SSGSS that he can no longer sense his ki. They do establish, yes, Goku is using God Ki in this form. So I guess this literally is it is Super Saiyan 1 with God Ki. That's what this form is, I guess. I could be wrong. Maybe I have no clue. I'm just saying no, but yeah, that seems to be what this is. Maybe they'll go into more detail. I'm hoping they go into more detail because I really want to know more about this form and exactly how it works. But yeah, that's like the only really super noteworthy like lines and things that happen in this episode that are worth bringing up. There's also a few like cool little scenes that I really enjoyed, like just little things like when Goku and Frieza first have their standoff and they're kind of staring at each other and Goku's like looking down and Frieza's looking up at him. Very reminiscent of when they first encountered each other on Namek. Does that little bit of I guess you could call it fan service. Don't really think it counts, but I enjoyed it. Also, I really like the scene of like Jocko, pulling out the picture of him and his girlfriend from his spaceship. He's like, oh no, my memento is burned. And it's the exact same photo that they show in the Jocko manga. That was a really nice little nod to the manga. I find it interesting though that they perfectly nail what that photo looked like from the manga. Yet they couldn't get Gohan and Videl's wedding attire correct when they showed that in this series. Like they show a picture of them from their wedding, and it's completely different from the wedding photo that's shown at the end of Z. So I always thought that was a little interesting that they got that right, but they couldn't get the wedding photo right, even though they had just shown that at the end of Kai, which came right before this series. Another scene I really enjoyed was like Vegeta's little slow clap that he gives to Frieza. He's like, I'm congratulating you on your resurrection, and he gives him this slow clap, and and it's just Vegeta being a dick, and it's just him being this cock-waving asshole. Really loved it. Great little Vegeta scene, because that whole thing of Vegeta just kind of being like, just kind of fucking around with Frieza's head, thinking like, no, I'm not on your side. I'm really just fucking quit fucking around, guys. Just fight. I'm getting tired of this shit. Fight. Enjoyed it. Really doesn't add anything to the episode, really, but it was just a nice little scene that I enjoyed personally. And like the last little things I have to bring up are just not things that are really detrimental to the episode. In fact, this is more something that has to deal with the last episode, and that's the whole Goten and Trunks being thrown off the battlefield thing by Goku. Still a little irksome considering, first off, everyone else that's still left on the battlefield is way weaker than them. Even Gohan at this point, because his ass is so thoroughly kicked from Frieza. So, like, they get sent off, but everyone else is, everyone else gets to stay. Even Bulma, who has no fucking powers whatsoever, and Frieza actually tries to exploit this. He tries to kill Kuderen, he tries to kill Bulma, he has to throw Goku off. You think Goku would have had them taken off the battlefield? Also, I think it's really weird that he sends Goten and Trunks away to go and form Dende. And thinking back to that, I'm like, wait a second. Dende is God. Like, he can see everything from the heavenly realm. He knows everything that is going on. He knows Piccolo's dead. Also, I really like the idea that, like, because they showed Dende mourning over Piccolo. It's like, please avenge Piccolo, Goku. It's like, did Goku just leave Piccolo's dead body, no explanation there for Dende to find? Holy shit, that's fucked up. But yeah, just, you know, I still find it's really weird that they threw Goten and Trunks off the battlefield. It really feels like something that they did solely to, you know, maintain the status quo that was the movie's lineup, where, like, you had this many characters on the battlefield, and Goten and Trunks weren't there, so Goten and Trunks can't be there for this fight. Even though that doesn't really make sense, because the status quo isn't maintained, because Piccolo's not there. In fact, Piccolo's fucking dead, which Piccolo wasn't dead in the movie. So it's weird. Like, I'm not sure why they got thrown out, other than the fact that they weren't there in the movie, and they can't be there for the big climax of the series. Or the arc, not the series. The series is not ending with this arc. And yeah, that's everything. That's all I have to say. Like I said, it's a really thin episode. There really isn't anything to really break down or discuss. It's not a bad episode. It's not a really great episode. It's just, you know, like, I thought the fight was pretty damn lame, but I mean, once again, it's the warm-up fight. The warm-ups are always a lot of powering up and bullshit shit talking, and, you know, a few punches being thrown here and there, and then next time on Dragon Ball Z, and then you get to the actual fight. So, you know, I'm hoping the next episode will be a lot better. I'm pretty sure the first half of the next episode is going to be taken up exclusively with Frieza going into his golden form, and then they're going to start fighting in the second half of the episode. So honestly, I don't have too high of hopes for the next episode, but probably the episode after that is when shit's really going to start kicking into gear. Hopefully I'm right. Hopefully this ends up being a really awesome fight. You know, I really liked the fight with Beerus and Goku from the last arc. I thought that was really well executed, with the exception of episode 12, which was a total piece of shit. Hopefully they don't pull some stupid shit like that in this, though I am going to be making fun of it every time they punch and shockwaves don't happen, and I'm going to be like, well, I guess they're not as strong as Beerus and Goku was when they fought. Yeah, I'm going to be that asshole. I'm totally going to do it. But yeah, like I said, nothing else to really bring up. Like I said, middle of the road episode. Not terrible, not great, just, eh. That wraps up this review. Until next time, guys, Zeon, out.